We've got these unboxed now, and now they're ready for some paint. You can get these powder coated. I chose not to powder coat mine. I like to just put Rust-Oleum on them. That way as they get scratched and scuffed up, I can just retouch them up as I go. This and armor is kind of personal preference as far as if you want powder coat or not. A lot of people do powder coating. I just, like I said, it's kind of fun for me to A, paint them, and B, you know you're gonna have to touch these up. So, well, I hope so. If you're using them, if you're a mall crawler, you're never gonna have to worry about it. So get those powder coated. And it lasts a little bit longer, of course, too, but when you try and touch that up, it looks a little bit different. Anyways, I got these all wiped down. I got some Windex and just cleaned them up a bit. You can use goof off and stuff, but you're trying to get just basically all this dirt off that comes from the factory, and when they, not the factory, but when they doing all the welding and the metalworks and stuff like that. So they do get dirty and they do have a lot of dust on them. So clean that up, get any surface rust off of them, and then just get ready for primer and paint, whatever you want to do with them. Please excuse the mess. We're still trying to get ready to move. Let's get these painted. I was very tempted to leave these clear coated too, because they actually look really cool, but next to the rig, with the gray, I just think the black will look a lot better. We're just gonna go with a flat, or not a flat, but a satin black, and make them look good and get ready for Moab. It's 10 o'clock. I've let these dry for about 2 hours. They're still a little sticky, but I'm too excited. I'm gonna go ahead and toss them on. I'll just try and be very careful, and if I need to touch them up, I'll touch them up. But yeah, these are going on right now, so let's do this. I'll try and get the best footage I can. It's dark, I'll pull the rig in, it's gonna be tight, it's gonna be awkward. I'm gonna be lifting these up by myself with jacks, scuffing them up, but we're putting them on right now. Let's do this. Sticky floor. All right, in theory, this should be really, really simple. In theory, a lot of things when you're working on vehicles should be really simple, but we'll see how that works out. Let me show you how this is supposed to go. Let's take a look. So, underneath the vehicle, on the frame, you'll see a bunch of little holes. Many of these, let me see if I can get that to zoom, many of these have threads in them, and they'll match up to the holes in the rock rail itself. The whole idea being, okay, cool, we can put a little bolt through here, that works there, and we can tighten it down and make adjustments, because there's adjustments obviously there. Okay, so in theory, this, for example, I can get my lighting to work, should be able to go right there and screw right in. Now I've already put some PV plaster all along this, so that hopefully that'll be a little bit better, and that's how it's supposed to go. We also have lock washers and washers with this, so we'll put obviously a washer and a lock washer on each one too, and hopefully make this work out easy peasy. If I had 2 other people with me, I'd just have them hold this in place, and that would be awesome. However, that's not exactly going to work because it's just me. So I'm going to try and balance this on a jack stand like I did the MJ ones, and we'll see how this works out. I'm really hoping I don't scuff this up. I have a recipe for disaster, seeing as it's still slightly wet and it's super fresh paint. If I'd waited a couple days, it would have been a little bit easier, but I have no patience and I really want to get these on for you guys, so, and myself. So let's toss this on. We're gonna make this work. Always like to set myself up for success, and so I'm going to set these up and have them ready to go, because I know when I'm balancing this all up, my hands are gonna be tied up and I'm just gonna want these easily accessible. So I'm gonna get all of these ready, split them up from each side on the rig, and we'll go from there. Just for reference, they did send 25 of these, so I'm gonna put 12 on one side, 12 on the other, and have 1 to spare. And I'm sure I already mentioned this, but these are 13mm bolts. So I'm gonna get back to it. Lock washer, regular washer, and keep going from there. I'm interested to see how many holes are actually on the rock rails themselves, and if there's actually 12 or if there's multiple ones that I can kind of line up. So I'm interested to see how this all figures out together. Now I'm starting on the passenger side, and one thing I did notice is this bolt right here for this. I believe that's the emergency brake line. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's where one of these bolts needs to go through. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that one off and have it moved out of the way and ready to go, because it starts back there and then makes its way forward. So I'm pretty sure that one needs to come out, and I'm either gonna replace it with one of these bolts or it's gonna go back in as normal. But I do know the way it sits now, it's gonna be in the way. So I'm gonna go ahead and precursor this by taking that off and having it ready to go. And for quick reference, that was a 12 millimeter. So you will need a 12 millimeter as well as a 13 to get this done. Now I'm gonna apologize in advance because I know this sliding isn't gonna be great. I have just garage lights on that I'm trying to make this all work, but I'm gonna do the best I can with this. Go ahead and try and put the slider on, see how it works out. I will show you guys what I'm doing after I do it, even if it means I have to tilt the light onto the ground to make it work. So let's try and get this started. Wish me luck. I just don't want it to fall off the jack. If I can just get a couple bolts in, I'll be happy. I think I'm prepared-ish. Put this 13 back on. Have it ready to go. Have these ready to go. Let's do this. I kind of almost want to try balancing it first. See if that'll work. Could just be silly, but it's possible. It may work. Let's see what I can do. Yep, it's all still really wet. Sometimes I have good ideas. Other times I just have bad ideas. See how this turns out. This is what happens when you record yourself doing these things. When you don't record yourself, no one knows what you're doing. So, if you do dumb stuff, no one ever knows. You only see the end result. I don't have black paint on me yet, so that's good. Alright. Just need to lift this up now. I can just get one or two in. That'll be money. This is where friends goes a long way. Alright. Here's my back one. I think we're getting close, guys. Got one over here. There. Haven't messed up my paint too much yet. Got a couple fingerprints on there, but she's hanging out on her own accord now. See if I can improve this a little bit. Is that better? As I mentioned, this emergency brake line or whatever it is going to get re-threaded in with a new bolt. And then there's plenty of adjustment that you can make. Don't get under here until you have a couple bolts in. I don't want you to be that guy. I'll show you what I was fighting in a second. I see it now. Okay, so we're underneath here now. Like I said, I got a couple bolts in, and the reason it wasn't working is because you actually have to get behind this little lip right here. So the rail has to actually come in back here. And as I mentioned, these are started. This will require a new one of these. And from there, you just start feeding them in, and then you massage them in the direction that you basically want it to be as far as level goes. So I got a couple up front. I'm just gonna keep putting this in, and then I'll shift it up and down depending on how I like it. And we'll show you how it looks from there. And there you go. This side is on. It's gonna look a lot better in daylight, and I'll get you some more images from there. Oh, check it out, RSG. I really like how they spray painted the box. This is on. All the bolts are in and tightened. Everything went on really easily. Everything lined up perfectly. I did miss one bolt However, I don't know if you can see it, but just to the right of that one, but that was kind of on me. I probably should have put that one in earlier, and it's just enough off that I couldn't get the bolt in without it trying to strip a little bit. So I ended up with 3 extra bolts on this side, 2 that didn't have holes anyways. So I used 10, or I actually used 9, but you're supposed to use 10. But I'm really confident with how it is. And then up there, I did end up swapping out this stock bolt, this stock 10mm or 12mm, with one of the 13mm bolts it came with, and everything lined up perfectly with that as well. So, RSG, I'd say you did a really kick-ass job. I'm gonna toss on this other side, and hopefully in the daylight tomorrow, I'll show you what it looks like. But for right now, there you go. A little night preview. I really dig it. It sticks out perfectly, it's canted well, it'll kick out right around the tire as needed, and it'll be a nice little step and slider as well. So I'm really excited about that look. Everything worked out perfectly. It is 11 o'clock now. It's taking a little bit longer because I'm not using air tools because it's quiet. So you do have to ratchet like a bajillion times because those bolts are pretty long. But I'm gonna get this other side bolted on, locked in, and we'll call it a night. Just finished up the driver's side. Please ignore the dirty vehicle. This one actually took 11 bolts. It's a little bit set up slightly different because it has a divider in the middle basically. Let's see if I can show you. So the back 2 notch into that side of the frame, there's a gap in the rail, and then it picks it back up here. And the reason there's a gap is because this frame right here, there's like this little pinch weld or whatnot, and having a piece go over that wouldn't be flush. Also notice that my gas tank is pretty beat up under here. It's definitely gonna be time for some RCI skids. I'm gonna place the gas tank skid and all of this unprotected stuff with the RCIs, unless I can find a different brand that anybody recommends, but I need some protection under here to get started. That's gonna happen sooner than later, but that's definitely next on the agenda along with the front bumper. So there you go. I'll show you guys some more of that tomorrow. It's 11:30, I'm gonna go to bed and show you some more of this in daylight. See you right now. Just like that, I'm back. They're doing this new section in my neighborhood, so it's a really cool opportunity to come out here and just film a bit. Plus, check out this sweet view. It's not too bad at all. So just kind of a golden opportunity out here. I mean, it's not great, but here you go. All right, so here we go. These are the new rock rails installed, and they are set up, dialed in, and I didn't get paint everywhere. I'm sorry if there's a little wind, so I do apologize for that. But that's kind of the layout of them. As you can see, it kind of kicks it out, so if you do rub up against a rock, it'll kick out past the tire. And that's kind of a quick back view of it. Probably gonna run into a rattlesnake over here or something. And then again in the daylight, there's a little bit better look of the mounts. Hopefully you can see that. But just bolts right in underneath there. Overall, a really simple install. Just painted them up, tossed them on. I was able to do it myself, as you saw earlier. Probably not the best way to do it, but it did work. If I let them dry for a little bit longer, they wouldn't have been sticky, but I didn't get paint everywhere, so that was good. Needless to say, last time I'm gonna say this, thank you again, RSG. I'm really, really fortunate that you guys were able to help me out and had these in stock, and they were the exact ones I wanted. Really pumped to be able to test these out in Moab in the next couple weeks. So look forward to those videos coming out. I'm gonna film as much as possible for you guys because I wanna get as much footage. However, I will be driving by myself, so that's gonna be a little bit harder, but I will film as much as possible and try and get some good footage of everyone out there. Really looking forward to this trick. If you need anything or if you have anything that you think that I should take with me, gear-wise, I'm really interested in that. The next thing I'm looking for is skids and bumpers over time. So if you guys know anybody that has some, or I really need a TRD Pro front skid would be awesome, so I could swap this one out at the very least.
I'm still looking for one of those, and I'm also looking for the tray that goes in the back that levels everything out. Mine doesn't have that, so it has kind of a slope. So when I car camp, it's really canted, so I'm gonna have to figure out something with that. So if you have a tray, or if you have one of these TRD Pro skid plates that you wanna sell, let me know, because I am about 2 weeks out and I'm willing to buy and figure this out. Just let me know how much shipping and all that good stuff. Thanks again, guys. Looking forward to this, and I'm looking forward to beating the hell out of these rock rails and getting at it. See you soon.